Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. These are messages for the highest and the greatest good of the Empath Collective and the Empath Journey here on Mama Gaia, part of the Elsh Collective, of course. Empaths, light workers, starseeds, and healers, awakened and awakening souls. Know that if this message has found you for the first time, or you have found it, that there is something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. For those of you who are an ongoing part of this family, thank you again for being here, sharing your time, your energy in this space with me, and engaging of your own free will in these messages. We're going to start a little bit with a collective update, and then I'll get into some of the messages that are coming through with regard to this soul support specifically for the Empath Collective here on Mama Gaia. Archangel Michael here, Archangel Raphael also here for this reading, along with one of my guides connected to the blue avians. And I'm going to start with his message first, coming in to speak. He's showing me the zebra and the zebra spirit. That might be, I don't know why this might be something specific to you if you are watching this, to some of you. He likes to show me the zebra in terms of understanding duality and understanding contrast and understanding uniqueness, and that duality is all about returning to wholeness, because the zebra, with its stripes being so highly contrasting, is one being in and of itself, okay? The zebra, he likes to use this as a metaphor for understanding the light and the dark within each and every one of us, and the integration of that in one being, and the uniqueness of that, and the unique paths that we are all on spiritually. He's bringing in a lot more now, so I'm going to go with it. He's talking about these new frequencies and energies that are hitting the earth. These are essentially they're consciousnesses, forms of consciousness that are assisting us in more deeply understanding the nature of duality, and that duality is essentially an illusion. Separateness is an illusion, but it is part of the Earth School experience. And because it's an illusion, it's really interesting what he's showing me right now. Is he's saying that that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. We have to understand that duality is a learning tool, essentially, is how he's describing it to me, okay? Duality is a learning tool. It's a way that we can more deeply understand things being on a spectrum, and that it's simply about returning to this integrated wholeness, a remembering of our wholeness, a remembering of our connection to the same source from which we all came, okay? Now, yeah, he wants me to stop there. I'm going to, just for a moment here, come back, go to the second part, go to the second part of this message, which is also, this is with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael coming through, really wanting to assist us. And what I heard them say specifically was self-modulation and self-regulation. This feels a lot like regulating our nervous system, because it was on Monday, I believe, if I remember correctly. I'm just going to look. Yeah, it was on Monday, looking at my calendar here, that Mercury entered Aquarius and it conjuncted with Pluto. We have a lot. There is a stellium coming up. Wow, I'm even getting like so ahead of myself. I've just felt, I don't know about you, but I felt like fritzy all week. I know that there is, I can't remember when Uranus went direct. I gotta check my calendar. Not that it really, I think it was the previous week, right? There's something in this energy right now, and it being very much Aquarian in nature. We're going to have a stellium in Aquarius going forward. I think by the end of this month. And Uranus is playing a very big role in this energetically, as an energy, as a planetary energy that we are all connected to. And Mama Gaia herself is connected to. Uranus going direct is this is an energy of, like, Uranus is often associated with just electricity. And things happening suddenly out of the blue. I can't find the date, but I get a feeling that it was this past week, and it may, because the energies have been so ramped up right now, this is also connected to solar winds, solar flares, coronal masses on the sun itself changing and shifting, the way that Mama Gaia is changing and shifting. The last update I posted, and I will link it here, had to do with how this is purging things, how it's asking us to do more shadow work. It's asking us to go deeper into our own wounds, our own traumas, our own fears. That's what the light does, right? It sheds consciousness and awareness on the things that may be lurking in the shadows, the things that are our best teachers. And my guide coming in to affirm that, talking about understanding duality. So obviously this is going to have us feeling very fritzy. And Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael really wanting to come in now to help us self-regulate, self-modulate. This is how they're showing it to me. Archangel Michael literally holding a pair of scales. Of course, he is associated with this. He is associated with the fall equinox, which happens at the beginning of Libra season. He's focusing more on the energies of the mind here, and Archangel Raphael wanting to focus on the emotional body, okay? One of the things that I spoke about, I believe it was in the last message that I will link here, has to do with understanding how trauma resides in the body. There are so many resources online and even here on YouTube with regard to nervous system regulation, simple exercises you can do. One of my very dear friends was just having a conversation with her about this the other day. One of the things that I really like to do as a really simple exercise when I feel my nervous system is starting to kind of kick in, and it's been happening this week because of these energies, right? Is I just stop and I focus on everything in the room around me and my breathing at the same time. And I will literally look at everything in detail. I will take all of my attention and focus on things outside of me, focus on being present, because this is where the power resides when we're trying to regulate our nervous system. It resides in focusing on the present moment that you are in, awareness around where it is hitting you in the body, and I'll get to that in a second. And in doing that, you are also creating that third perspective of observation, being the observer of what you're feeling and what you're thinking. This goes back to what Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael are bringing through, okay? What you're feeling, Archangel Raphael wants to speak to that. What you're thinking, Archangel Michael wants to speak to that, okay? So you can you can experiment with this, but there's so many different exercises that you can do, and there are so many resources online to do this, okay? There's so much that's even shifting in the area of psychology around this, because so much more is being discovered. And it's just like science is beginning to overlap spirituality, psychology is doing the same thing, okay? And understanding that these energies reside in the body, because the body is a reflection of our energy and what is going on energetically within our own energetic field, right? So very simply, you want to shift your focus. Archangel Michael is showing me this now, looking at every detail of everything around the room as you begin to take in very deep belly breaths to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. Because when you're dysregulated, when your nervous system is dysregulated, it goes into a sympathetic state, which we often associate with fight, flight, or freeze, right? So by doing deep belly breaths, and if you've ever done anything in terms of yoga and practices with pranayama and breathing, you'll know that this is very much connected to that, right? This is how we engage the parasympathetic nervous system. We do it through deep belly breaths, and we begin to calm and come back to center in this way by first observing what is going on around you in the room. What can you hear? Engage your senses, okay? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? Are you smelling anything? Are you even tasting anything? What are you tasting in your mouth? You may not be eating, but maybe there's something going on there. And then you want to shift to your own focus of your body, shifting into the focus of touch and how you feel. Where are you sitting? How is the chair or the bed that you're lying in, right? How is it feeling up against your back? How are you feeling against it? And begin this process of just pure awareness in a very physical sense to begin to kind of start to regulate this nervous system. I even heard emotional body, okay? So I'm not going to get too into that because that could take a really, really long time to talk about. But they simply want to bring that up, that this is something that we should be focusing on currently. It would be, Archangel Michael saying, it would be in our highest and greatest good and interest to be doing this currently. If you are feeling like you are aggravated, is what he's saying, by these energies, these electrical impulses, essentially, is what he's saying that they are. He's showing me that they are obviously associated to these light codes and these new frequencies that are hitting the earth. Okay. All right. So Archangel Raphael bringing in Prehnite again. This is for that heart healing, higher heart energy. Simply wanting to bring this energy in because it's a very soothing kind of energy. He's actually showing me that it's like peppermint. There's something cooling about it and soothing about it. If you do have this available to you, Prehnite is a great crystal to be working with right now for this self-modulation, self-regulation. I am bringing in the crystal so you can connect to its frequency here. And if it's not available to you, you can ask to connect with this frequency, or just put a picture of it up somewhere on your computer, your phone, whatever, and connect to it that way, okay? I'm going to be asking for the soul support messages. Oh, did I get into the update? I did not. We're going to start, well, okay. I'm telling you, I'm going to be a little all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to be asking first through the Light Seers Tarot, and then the Rumi Oracle, Alana Fairchild's Rumi Oracle. It's essentially coming back to this sort of heart-centered energy. Archangel Raphael coming in for that especially. Now, I'm going to start with just an energy update and what Spirit showed me moving into this, of where we're sort of at and getting a feel for where we're at energetically. And I'm talking specifically here to the Empath Collective. Please take what resonates, leave what does not. Please leave a comment below if this is resonating with you or if you've had something similar come through, if you want to add to it, okay? I was shown a cityscape that looked a lot like San Francisco. It looked like a city next to the water. I'm not really seeing, but I'm seeing something that's connected to the ocean, but it looks sort of like a river and like a lot of bridges. So that's why San Francisco is coming up here. And the visual that I am being given is one of, a storm has just passed. There are still those kind of wispy clouds in the atmosphere, but there's a certain degree of reprieve. Like I've literally felt just sort of like a, okay, that's done. We got through that. It felt like it was, in Greek we call it That's the word that's coming, and I'll explain what this is. A burini, which is basically a storm that comes in really quickly, and it like downpours for maybe like 15 minutes, not even, and then it leaves and the sun comes back out again, okay? Except that in this, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of wetness. I'm seeing, when the light hits, buildings and they're wet, that type of visual is what I'm getting. But now it's dusk, like the sun is going down and it's slightly peeking through the clouds on the horizon, okay? So there is there's kind of a twofold message here. Liminal space. Oh, wow, okay. Commander Ashtar. Yeah, okay. Sorry, this just came out of nowhere. Okay, so Commander Ashtar wanting to come in now. He's talking about this with regard to timelines. He just wants me to put this out there for a moment because he says, okay, so this is probably going to be something we'll focus on in the next message for Sunday. But he wants to come through now. Ashtar Shiran. He wants to come through now to talk about how this is a very connected liminal space and the connection to timelines and shifts in timelines happening. Okay, so he wants me to just bring this message in really quickly to reassure you that if you're feeling time is being wonky, you're feeling some kind of anticipation that you've never felt before, and he's showing me neutrality around it. He's saying fears can come up around this sort of thing, but more than anything, you're actually surprising yourself in how kind of neutral you feel, which is a good thing, is what he's showing me. That this is connected to timelines, and if you're suspecting that it's connected to timelines, you're on the right path, okay? He's also saying make sure you're exercising discretion in this. He's not going to go into anything more than that right now, but he just wants to come in to bring that up. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. He just wants to bring that in, and we will get to it more on Sunday is what he's showing me, because this has been coming up. And there's something with the astrological energies is what he's showing me as well that's connected to this. He's reminding me of that because I mean, that's something with Aquarius that amongst certain astrologers is well known, right? Yeah, he's showing me timeline shifts, okay? So we'll get to that. We will get to that. If that's something that is coming up, know that it's coming up for a reason. And he really wants to emphasize here the fact that this comes back to you also being the creator of your own reality within the shifts of the timelines, the ones that you're creating and the greater ones at work here. This is really fascinating. I don't want to get too off topic though. He understands that. He's bringing me back now to duality and my blue avian guide coming through, okay? So we're going to go back to the energies here of the zebra. Understanding duality, the integration of duality and wholeness. And just as I cut the deck, they want me to show the Hermit to you because most of us are feeling this energy very soothing right now, the Hermit, wanting to be in that energy. 100%. A lot is needed to integrate these energies. I'm also seeing the Four of Swords. That's what's being shown to me. Deep rest. I have been really focusing on making my sleep a priority. And that could be something that's actually an issue right now for some of us. Like we're not sleeping super well, or we're getting up like in the middle of the night or during that very special hour, you know, like at 3 a.m. Some of us a little earlier than that. It depends. Yeah. Okay. All right. They all just flopped out. The Hierophant coming out here. The Wheel of Fortune. Commander Ashtar is speaking about the timelines being represented here with this. This is in connection to the energy to the energy of your higher self and connecting to your higher self. 5 of Cups coming out. Okay, that's at the center of the read. The Empress, that's Mama Gaia herself making an appearance here. And the Knight of Cups. All right, so, okay. 2 of Cups coming out at the bottom of the deck. Relationships. One of the ways that we are definitely learning how to integrate, how to, interestingly enough, come back to our sovereignty is through relationships. Relationships that we have. It's funny because this 5 of Cups is actually giving me a very 8 of Cups vibe. Because I think in this deck, the 8 of Cups is again on a beach and she's walking away from the 8 of Cups towards the sunrise. So these energies, and actually they're showing me the cityscape that I was speaking about before, and that liminal space, even though I said was dusk, could also be dawn. And they're showing me that that's going to pertain. They're showing me that this is happening simultaneously. And this is again connected to the timeline shifts. They're showing me that it's essentially up to us. They're showing me how the dark night of the soul, like this dusk energy of going into the darkness, this is not evil when I say darkness. This energy of going into the darkness, of going within, is like the sunrise. It's like the phrase, it's always darkest before the dawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. So there is a huge recognition here that there has been a lot of healing. There is a lot of energetic support, is what Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael are showing me as well, energetically, working with the angelic realm. Again, take what resonates for you, okay? If you do work with the angelic realm, asking Archangel Raphael simply to help you heal. If you're starting to just embark on this journey of discovering, the things that they're really showing me empaths in relationships here, like relationships like with the mother, the father, brothers, sisters, siblings, cousins, family. They're showing me a lot of family here. They're showing me intimate relationships, romantic relationships, relationships that we dub karmic, right? And the evolution of your soul along this journey, like that's how they're showing it to me, having experienced these things, because they're holding up a mirror to your strengths now. And this is a process, right? This is a process. It's sort of like a step-by-step process that we go through. We have to get to that place where we've already done a certain degree, we've already had a certain degree of awareness, and we've done a certain degree of work already to understand that these relationships that we've been in the past, that perhaps didn't go the way we wanted them to go, that perhaps were a source of trauma, wounding. I'm hearing limited beliefs. I'm also hearing, I keep on hearing liminal space. Okay, so Archangel Michael coming back in now to talk about thoughts and how you are seeing these relationships. How are you seeing them? And he's saying that these are the relationships that are tapping you more deeply into your sovereignty. Okay? This 5 of Cups at the center of the read here is also an indicator that some of us are still in this energy of feeling sad. This is what he's saying the light codes and all this purging is bringing up, is we're remembering, we're it can have us, because we were not sure what's going on and we're feeling energies very differently and like in a new way, there's fears that come up. And from that place of fear, we can start ruminating again on things that perhaps happen that we're not happy about, that make us sad, to put it really simply, okay? But this is actually a massive opportunity to go more deeply into our higher self and to embody our higher self. I'm hearing there was a blip in the timeline for a reason, and specifically Commander Ashtar is bringing that in to speak about a relationship you thought was going to go a certain way and it did not, and it has you feeling upset, sad, like you're at a loss. You're not. So this is really specific. This is an energy of aligning to somebody new who is actually in alignment with your heart. That's a really specific message, but that's what's coming through here. Also, there's so much of this just beautiful, deep healing that is available to us if we're willing to open our eyes and see it. The Empress coming through. This is an energy connected as well. It's funny because on this card we see the moon too, which I absolutely love. And there's a lot of water energy that comes through for me with this card as well. And we do have the Knight of Cups here. So there is a great degree of emotional healing and mastery that is available right now to us. And it comes from understanding more deeply our bodies. That's what the Empress is, right? Our bodies. Understanding where the trauma, the pain, where it is in our bodies, in order for us to move forward into this energy, you know? This energy of feeling, they're really pointing me to this little letter here. And this bowl, which is the bowl that is behind her here. A letter might be some kind of a message. I'm not sure, but a knight is always about movement. And this is movement in the right direction. This direction of healing, this direction of coming more fully into our body. I'm hearing embodiment, allowing that higher self to fully be embodied. Embodied, okay? And they're showing me the 2 5s here now. That is the energy of change. Shifts taking place along with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse with this Empress. That's a 13. That is the Death card. That's the energy of transformation. And just as I said that, I'm getting a huge thing to my throat. Excuse me. Activations. I'm also hearing you speaking truth to yourself. Speaking truth of what you truly want. I surge on the I surge on the uprising wave of love, and it's a 5 again. There is, you know what? Look at that movement in those spheres. This surge of love. That's what these, oh, wow, okay. It's like a cause and effect with what's happening with these solar winds, these light codes. Essentially, when I say this, please understand that it goes so much more deeper than that. It's like frequencies are shifting. Love frequencies. That's what we're talking about here. Love frequencies. You know how they're infiltrating the planet through empaths, healing their trauma. That's what they're showing me. It's not coming from the outside. It's connected to the outside. It's connected to the upkick in these light codes and these frequencies coming in with regard to our consciousness, with regard to the purging that's going on. But empaths are the direct source through this of releasing more love frequency across Mama Gaia and the earth plane because of the healing and the shadow work that they are doing. Yes, the all-encompassing hand. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Love these. I hope you can see that. The artist for this deck is Rassouli. Just beautiful. This is how they're showing it to me, is this is a hand, and this looks like Mother Mary to me. This hand coming in, this energy of these light codes, these frequencies coming in, and by way of that, this compassionate hand reaching out to everyone here on earth, okay? Like I'm being reminded now of like the Immaculate Heart of Mary, unconditional. Well, that was fast. I'm asking through the radio oracle now. Okay, well, obviously I just showed you that. Oh God. Okay, the Cloak of Christ at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I just want to reiterate here, and they're bringing this in as a quick little aside, to talk about discretion, to talk about making sure that you are protecting your energy and creating healthy boundaries around you with this Cloak of Christ. These are the energies and the frequencies of so much love for yourself that it protects you. Just like you're seeing here in this figure. And I do love how the colors here are very violet and purple, even a little bit of red. So we've got energies here very much connected to the violet flame, connected to transmutation, transmuting the trauma into sovereignty, deeper love for yourself, self-awareness, and creating these healthy boundaries. Resplendent with grace, number 24. I almost just feel like I'm not going to say anything. I'll just hold these up first because these images are very activating. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. Number 32, that's another 5. And I love how the Cloak of Christ is a 4 because those energies of protection then become very grounding, right? Oh, wow. Celestial Rose of Ma, number 10. They want me to read from this one, okay? The 10 is reflecting the wheel that's come out here as well. Now, with these energies, this resplendent with grace is pretty self-explanatory is how they're showing it to me. I'm also seeing this energy as being these light codes that we are receiving with regard to a deeper understanding of how we can heal within ourselves this trauma, having grace around that, grace with regard to how we see our wounds, how we see our fears, how we see our traumas, giving them love, and also celebrating the simple, tiny little wins that we do when we do that with this particular card here. I keep on hearing that line. I know it's in a Dave Matthews song, and I know it probably comes from somewhere else, and I'm completely going blank on it now, but I'm hearing eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And I don't mean that, I'm talking about that metaphorically, okay? What I'm saying here is this is about joy, the energy of joy, of feeling safe in our bodies. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. This is a very divine feminine energy. So much of this deck is divine feminine, like it's, you know, but it's very much this energy of feeling safe in your body. Coming back to a love for yourself and your body. So much heart center energy in this. Okay, I'm going to read this one because there's some beautiful writing in this. And because obviously this is the Rumi oracle, so of course it's going to be beautiful writing. Okay, I'm just going to read you the poem here. And then we'll get into just a little bit of Alana Fairchild's writing for this, and that's how I'm going to close out this reading, okay? The taste of bitterness becomes sweetness in love. This is about that alchemization of the bitterness that we've endured and transmuting that into love, okay? The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. Love transforms thistles into jasmine. Love layers heaven and gifts us with wings to soar into its mystery. Love transforms our every thought into a desire of the heart. Oh, love, how divine is your luring. Beauty flows from your unseen face. Your very nature is radiant with joy. You manifest vibrant hues in every flower. Your touch dazzles all creation. Every particle is attracted toward you, longing to unite and dwell in you. Okay? And here's the excerpt. I'm just gonna, it's quite long, so I'm just gonna read what I'm guided to read and share with you, okay? The Divine Mother offers me her rose, how rich that gift may be. I tear my flesh on its thorns and my blood flows. I curse myself for carelessness, and yet in my desire to grasp this gift, it happens again and again. Then I realize, such is its scent, its beauty. How can I be tentative in my approach? My senses are drenched in beauty, and I long to inhale the exquisite perfume, to reach for the velvet dew of the petals, soft and delicate under my touch. Perhaps I will be scraped and I will bleed, yet that is not enough to deter me, to prevent me from accepting this gift. The magnificence of the bloom renders the struggle to enjoy it as a worthy, noble, essential pursuit. Of course, I understand something so precious must be protected. It must be allowed to live, more than this, to thrive. So those thorns are hooks that allow for growth. For those that would bear the pain of the ascent to the rose's blooming, to the rose's blooming heart. And those thorns are barbs that keep away those that would consume the creation without appreciating its worth and beauty. Yes, those thorns serve essential purpose. I cannot begrudge them, for I love the rose. And so I love what is necessary for her to be. So I love the thorns too. Oh man. Oof. And then she simply says here, a spiritual gift is on its way to you. The divine mother, this celestial rose, is a precious offering of sacred love to the soul. That love can lift you beyond what you have known, beyond self-imposed limits, by the uplifting fragrance of grace. And we had this Resplendent with Grace card come out, which is definitely connected to the message that wants to come through here. Now, the celestial rose of Ma promises a gift worth so much more than any pain you are holding on to, so release to receive now. Can you sense the dew, soft petals, and luscious fragrance opening to you now? There's so much coming through this card. There's so much coming through. With regard to our own thorns, the things that we don't want to look at within ourselves, the traumas, the wounds, the fears, but they are a part of us. And they are there for us to shed light on and to love and to transmute into our deepest understanding of self, our deepest self-love of self, our power, our sovereignty, a more deeper understanding of how this all works, right? There's also an energy here of boundaries, of having healthy boundaries and protection. There's a card that's similar to this in the Mother Rose Oracle, Rebecca Campbell's Oracle, where she talks about a rose with thorns and specifically speaking to empaths with regard to boundaries. Because if we don't have a solid sense of our own self-love and worthiness, our boundaries are often trampled on, and people will take advantage of that. Certain people will take advantage of that because they are essentially functioning. They're funky. They're functioning with a depleted sense of awareness, is what I'm hearing. Archangel Raphael really wanting to come in for this. I'm going to just show this one last time. This self-love is like this cloak of Christ. And this comes back to knowing yourself and going so deeply within, understanding the truth of who you are, the depth of who you are, understanding the relationships that you've been in and how they've disrupted a certain sense of safety in yourself. They've distorted the way that you've seen yourself. But just like this celestial rose of Ma, and Archangel Michael coming in to talk about this too, because he speaks to transmutation and thought. These are the things that are available to us that we can take and we can transmute them into our highest and greatest good. All the pains, all the struggles are there, he's saying, for the taking, for you to grow even stronger than before. And there's going to be so many activations around this. Like, I'm just seeing it right now, like just so many aha moments, because the energies are really supporting us in that right now. Okay, I'm going to close out this reading, bringing in this Prehnite again. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for being here. Thank you, Archangel Raphael. Thank you, Commander Ashtar, for coming in. We're going to talk about the timelines moving forward on Sunday. Thank you to my guide, the Blue Avians, coming through. The Zebra Spirit, I thank you for being here, for sharing your time and your energy with me in this space. And I am sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.